evaluated it, and in the end they had the final presentation, and the presentations were really good. I was excited about them. Some of them were even better than I had seen in university. So this project went really well. Now the second question. Why are you confident about the long-term effect of your students' experience in the class? So firstly, about national heroes. These are the 5 kids from the 9th grade that I took part in the physics competition last year. So this year they're coming to me and asking, like, can you be our mentor in the competition, which is called "What do you know about Latvia?" And I said, is it connected to physics? No, but we would like you to be our mentor. So I said yes. And they're also taking part in this this competition, physics competition, again this year while they're in 9th grade. And it's so easy to work with them because we did so much work last year, and they're now as a team, they do everything. Then they're working perfectly together, they're setting high goals, they're ambitious, they want to achieve like the top and even higher, and it's really easy to work with them because they've prepared everything and they're invested in this. So what I do now, what I have to do now is just ask some questions if they have thought of everything, and I just need to give them some motivation, and that's it. And I think that's perfect because I've asked also some other teachers and their parents, and they say that after this specific this national hero beginning, they've been achieving much more, and they've raised their dreams, their expectations, and they've achieved even more in not only in physics, not only in competitions, but also in other subjects in school. Secondly, about mathematics. I taught 10th grade mathematics for language class last year, and I was really surprised that most of the students said, like, I don't need mathematics in my life. Why would I need mathematics? I'm gonna be an entrepreneur. I'm gonna do business. I don't need mathematics. Why should I need mathematics? And I was like, what? How can you not understand? Like this is the mathematics you use every day, especially when you're a businessman. And what I tried to do last year was I was trying to show them different ways how they can use the mathematics and where they use it, and use their skills and knowledge. And we try to work in the classroom so that they analyze their performance. They can tell which are the things they're good at in mathematics, which are the things they're not good at, what they have to improve, what they have to do. Like, I asked them to create their individual plans for how to improve their skills and evaluate have they learned it well or not so well. So I invested a lot of work into the culture of classroom, and I'm really happy that this year they've changed the mathematics teacher, and what mathematics teacher is telling that she likes to work with them. It's good to work with them. The working culture is good. The grades and the knowledge is not so good, but it's easy to work with them. And I've just checked that like about half of the class has set the goal for this year that one of the top 3 priority subjects is mathematics, and that mathematics is important for them. And I think that's a huge step forward to what we started like 2 years ago and where we're now. And the third thing is individual work. I try to be as a consultant, especially in computer science classes, but as well as in natural science and in physics. I ask students to evaluate their work. I encourage peer assessment, and for example now students have to hand in their homework or their individual work, and also hand in some like assessment. One of their friends or colleagues have assessed this work, so they have to hand in 2 pages. One is the homework or the individual work, and the second is already the assessment, so I can see both of them together. And we analyze and assess presentations based on rubrics. What is the effect of it is that students come to me and ask questions, like sometimes even they come with their own presentations. They present in other subjects like geography or literature, they come to me and ask, like, could you help me with my presentation? I want to improve my presentation. And that's a huge step, because I remember when I came to work at school, it was like, I have a presentation, that's like a criteria, that's checklist, it's good already. But now they understand that if you want to make a great presentation, you have to spend more time and you have to think about different things in there. So, and it's really great that they're coming to me and to other teachers to ask, can you look at my presentation? Is it good? What can I improve? What should I do? How should I present these data? And all these questions. So now the question number 3. How do you decide what you're going to teach? Well, it's based on standards and based on curriculum, but I always try to think what's important for students, what they would like to learn, what they would like to explore, and what's also going on in the world and what's going on in Latvia. At the moment, we're really excited about, excited, it's not a good word, but still we're excited about nuclear energy, and everybody's invested into finding out what's happening in Japan and what happened in Chernobyl, and we try to compare the results. And is nuclear energy safe? Should we build a nuclear energy plant in Lithuania, which is not far from our hometown? And questions like these, and they're really invested in this because they know this is important now at the moment for them. And like when there's the first snow, it's usually good to talk about snow and how we can, like, about the heat transfer and other things like that. And I like students that they ask questions, and I always try to answer these questions. Like now, last week there was a question about how do you measure this radioactivity? Can I feel it? And then I took the radioactivity meter and I showed them, like, it beeps when it receives these particles, and then I was, oh wow, and everybody was interested in this thing. So I think it's important to connect the questions they have inside with the curriculum that I have to teach. How do you decide how you are going to teach? 3 things. I want the students to take responsibility, I want the students to take choices, and I want the students to work as much as they can on their own or in groups. So what I do in computer classes, I spend almost all time just going around the classroom and talking to students individually, seeing what they're doing, helping to their own, like what they've done and what problems they have. So it's truly individual work there. I've made this kind of plan in natural science that each of the students have their own individual work they have to do, and we consult, you know, and there are some classes when I just don't teach anything, the students teach to other students, and they debate and they ask questions and they try to answer these things, and I think that's one of the most important things. Tell us about a challenge that you have overcome. How did you do it? Well, it was the classroom management for grade 9. And I started in my classroom. I made a box where they had to put their mobile phones when they entered my classroom, and I gave the mobile phones back to them when the lesson was finished. And the second thing was that I made a seating chart, which I changed like once in 2 months, so they don't get too used to these friends that they're sitting next to, and there can still be some silence. And the third thing is I was counting time. I was looking at my watch, and every of the students knew that when I'm looking at my watch, I'm counting minutes. And if the minutes summed up to 40 minutes, they had extra classroom. And I was counting minutes only then when there was no silence in the classroom, when they were talking, when they were laughing or doing some other things that disturbed the class. So this was firstly in the classroom, and it made huge improvements how we could work. But then I talked to other teachers and they said they have similar problems in their classes. So we came together and we had an idea that we could make a system that we can send out some of the kids, like 1 or 2 kids out of the classroom to some room where they could do their work on their own and not disturb the others. And so we talked with the parents individually, with those parents whose kids have been disturbing the class before, and with all the parents in a meeting. And so we established these rules, and now we can do these things. It has been a great improvement, not only in my classes but also in other teachers' classes. But what I'm doing now, it's already the 2nd year, I'm trying to give more responsibility to students so that they understand that it's actually their power to control themselves, control their discipline during the class. So I'm giving the responsibility a bit back to them. I'm not controlling so much anymore, and it's actually working as well. It's not as good as it was like 2 months ago where I was controlling everything, but now I'm giving back the responsibility, and I think like after 1 year or 2 years they will be able to control themselves without any external pressure. Where are students performing less well? What is holding them back? Well, as a teacher of computers and science and physics, I would tell that most of the students are afraid to use their mathematics knowledge and skills in my classes because they're not confident about them. If I have a place in the test where you should do the calculations, it's a lot of times it's left blank, you know, or it doesn't mean that they don't have time. They sometimes draw something in there, but they don't calculate these things. And it's not like rocket science or something really hard. They just need to calculate how much they have to pay for the electricity or some other easy calculations. And I think that's a problem because they are not confident about what they can do and what they can't do. And if they see mathematics, it's I can't do that. And I think the problem is that they don't chop it in the smaller bites and see this one I can do, but this I can't do. So this is one of the greatest things what is holding my students back and what can be improved.